Hi, I want to go ahead and follow up my previous video and just make a more general description of Ponzi schemes and pyramid schemes for people to watch out for. And it's easy to get caught up in these. I mean, you might have it in your mind, that something looks and sounds, and when you're caught up in it, it's very different when it's like right in front of you. I mean, these con artists are very good at getting to people that you trust and friends of yours, and I know everything about getting caught up in a particular mindset and perspective, based on what people are telling you, and you're in an environment, you're getting shown a bunch of numbers, and there's no way of verifying. And I guess for myself, being trusting and just accepting what people tell me up to a certain degree, not thinking, that somebody would be lying to you, because I mean, that sort of stuff just doesn't make any sense to me. To be a dishonest person, go around lying and stealing and stuff. But people are that way, and you have to be very, very educated and informed about what Ponzi schemes and pyramid schemes are, because they're very, very common and they're disguised. I mean, no one is going to come up to you and say, "Hey, I'm running a Ponzi scheme, so you give me a bunch of money, and I'll pay people ahead of you." With that, then you go find a bunch of people that'll pay you money, give it to me, and then I'll redistribute it back to you, after taking my cut, and no one's gonna be like that. So they're gonna disguise it, and that's gonna be the system once you look underneath everything. But they're gonna come and disguise it as like, oh, it's this internet venture, it's this business, it's this whatever, to disguise the fact. But once you take all that stuff away and you look at the nuts and bolts of everything, it's like this is a Ponzi scheme, this is a pyramid scheme, you know and multi-level marketing is not necessarily a pyramid scheme. Um, it's a way of direct sales that uses relationship marketing. So, I'm going to pay you, to sell a product that should be a good product, to your friends and family, and you're going to get commission off that, but there's an actual product that people are buying and using, and if the commission distribution is multi-level marketing, like I recruit you and I'm your support system, with like business cards, training, all that stuff, then yeah, sure, I should get a commission from your commissions because I'm your support system. I'm providing you some sort of added value. I'm not just getting paid because you're going out to recruit somebody, and I'm getting a cut of that recruitment while giving you a cut of it and giving you the incentive to go recruit somebody else. And the last person recruited is holding the bag, and they have to go and recruit somebody to make their money back. And it's just a chain where money is floating upwards, and there's no product. That chain, that paying of membership fees, is what the quote unquote product is. um, so, people have to be wary of that. And multi-level marketing is not necessarily a pyramid scheme. It can be. It's probably an easy way to create a pyramid scheme and then disguise it as a legitimate business. So that's the often thing to watch out for with multi-level marketing, is that it's so close to being a pyramid scheme that an actual pyramid scheme could easily disguise itself as a multi-level marketing business. And but just because something is multi-level marketing doesn't necessarily make it a pyramid scheme. It's just a mode of um, of business where you're direct selling to people that you know. So that's called relationship marketing. And the multi-level system is that commissions are shared, like the person who does the sale makes the majority of the commission, and then there's a little bit of a trickle up because that's an incentive to provide you with support from your upline. So they should get a little bit of the payment, to keep supplying you with training, whatever, support, like let's say video phone calls, or, three-way calls to explain the product or how to use the product, training and stuff like that, business cards, marketing support, for advertising it. And that's why the people on the upline make a little bit of your direct sales, and that's fair. But a pyramid scheme, and here I am on the FBI website. It's fbi.gov, scams and safety, dash in the middle, /fraud, and then under the fraud category, I'm down at the Ponzi scheme section and pyramid scheme. And then a Ponzi scheme, it promises high financial returns or dividends not available through traditional investments. Instead of investing the funds of victims, however, the con artist pays dividends to initial investors using the funds of subsequent investors. The scheme generally falls apart when the operator flees with all of the proceeds or when a sufficient number of new investors cannot be found to allow the continued payment of quote unquote dividends. So it's a system of taking new money from people coming into, let's say, an investment fund, a phony investment fund, and the actual payouts are coming from the new people paying into the fund, not from like whatever the person is saying is being invested. So let's say, it's an investment fund supposedly for pork belly or whatever, and you're going to make 10% returns, and you put so much money in, and then I'm going to wait for the next batch of people to come in, and that's where your 10% return is going to come from, is when they put their money into the investment, and then they're going to sit around and wait until there's another batch of people coming in, and they put their money in, and then the second group's going to get their 10% returns from that, and the person who's running the fund is the person who's collecting the vast majority of the money. And then, once people start catching on, that's when he just pulls up his stakes, gets a airplane ticket out of there, and you don't never see him again. He just takes all the money. That's a Ponzi scheme. Um, a pyramid scheme is similar to a Ponzi scheme. The money collected from newer victims of the fraud is paid to earlier victims to provide a veneer of legitimacy. In pyramid schemes, however, the victims themselves are induced to recruit further victims through the payment of recruitment commissions. More specifically, pyramid schemes, also referred to as franchise fraud or chain referral schemes, are marketing and investment frauds in which an individual is offered a distributorship or franchise to market a particular product. The real profit is earned not by the sale of the product, but by the sale of new distributorships. Emphasis on selling franchises rather than the product eventually leads to a point where the supply of potential investors is exhausted and the pyramid collapses. At the heart of each pyramid scheme is typically a representation that new participants can recoup their original investments by inducing two or more prospects to make the same investment. Promoters fail to tell prospective participants that this is mathematically impossible for everyone to do, since some participants drop out while others recoup their original investments and then drop out. So, the mathematical impossibility is like, if you get your investment back by recruiting two people, eventually the amount of people interested in that investment or whatever franchise, buying into a business opportunity, whatever, it runs out, and at some level, at some point, the last person who buys in can't find two people, you know, and that's illegitimate anyway because there's no value. All it is a scheme to pay money and then go and recruit two more people than you. So for your one money, you got to find two people to pay for your one payment back in the commissions, but the person who is running the scheme is making commissions off everyone. He's not going out and recruiting anybody, he didn't pay any initial payment to join the scheme. He started it, and it's similar to the next level down from him. The higher up you are on the level, the less damage you're taking, and the more money you're getting flowing up to your level, and, from all of the different sources. So that's why the people on top make tons of money, because they got tons of people on the bottom scrambling to make their subscription fees back, their membership fee back by bringing tons of people, and the highest cut is always going upward to the next level and to the highest person on on that pyramid is getting the cut from everybody. So when that, when membership recruitment is the best thing, is the main focus of something, that's when you know that you're in a pyramid scheme, because it's about recruiting someone else and having them pay to be part of the scheme. It's not about any sort of added value. That's the number one thing. There's no product being sold. There's no one's gaining anything except the people are getting big commission checks on top, and they're showing you those checks to entice you. Hey, you're going to get big checks like me if you keep doing this system, and which is keep bringing people and money towards me, in my direction, dumping it in my pocket and go get more. And then, yeah, I'll give you a little cut of everything you bring to me while I collect your, revenue from your recruits and everybody else's recruits all at the same time. And I'm making a boatload of money, and I'm not even doing anything. And the people who are paying money, they're not buying anything except the need to go out and recruit more people and continue the system. So this is very clearly what a pyramid scheme is. Be wary of opportunities to invest your money in franchises or investments that require you to bring in subsequent investors to increase your profit or recoup your initial investment. Independently verify the legitimacy of any franchise or investment before you invest. And then the other thing here, be careful of any, and this is about Ponzi scheme, be careful of any investment opportunity that makes exaggerated earnings claims. Exercise due diligence in selecting investments and the people with whom you invest in other words, do your homework, consult an unbiased third party like an unconnected broker or licensed financial advisor before investing. And as far as like business opportunities, these big fat commission checks that people say, it's not that those commission checks are false. Those actual commission checks might be true, but where did the money come from? People underneath the pyramid paying into that fund, that from where they got the commission. See, anybody can make money selling nothing to people, selling people an idea that they're going to make lots of money just like them. You show them a huge commission check that they got and like, hey, you join the same scheme that I'm part of, you're going to make money like me, so keep bringing people in, and which keeps feeding them money. And then when you drop out, and even if you make it and you recruit lots of people and the little commission that you get from it, all you're doing is selling another person into the same scheme of having to go and recruit other people. You're hurting the people that you're recruiting, and you're putting them in a financially fraudulent situation and simply taking their money for nothing to satisfy your need to have to recoup your initial payment into the pyramid scheme. So it's wrong all around. And simply put, again, I'm speaking as a Christian, it's not worth it. Really, seriously think. How bad is it worth to burn in hell for all of eternity and live an empty life of being the kind of person who has to do this kind of stuff to people? And just for like millions of dollars to go spend on a bunch of superficial stuff that you don't even need. It's definitely not worth it. And becoming an ugly person on the inside isn't worth a bunch of money to be able to buy a bunch of fancy clothes and cars and big houses and whatever. You have to be a very decrepit person to be going around doing this kind of thing to people and taking people's checks and life savings and taking money out of IRAs, just to shove money down somebody's pocket that blew a bunch of sunshine up your rear end, about how much money you're going to make if you did their scheme. It's all BS. Liars are liars, and tell them to their face. And when they're doing their presentations, confront them. Confront them right there in their presentations. Show me your sales numbers. I want to see your revenue. And they can't do that. Walk out and just invite everybody else to walk out with you. Just tell them to come to this FBI website, scams and fraud. Tell them to watch, the videos that I put up. And I'm sick and tired of watching old ladies getting their life savings taken from them by these goddamn white collar criminal crooks, you know? And that's exactly what they are. And, these people, they don't create anything, they steal money from other people and they go around bragging about how much money they have, trying to entice other people to do what they're doing and be part of their scheme. All they're doing is stealing from other people. And I'm sick and tired of it. And it's about time people started, passing out these videos and teaching people, like, come on, wake up, stop feeding your money into somebody's pocket, so they could go around showing, huge commission checks to people, say, hey, join my scheme, so you could go out and give me your money and go out and get people to give me their money too. You know, total BS. If you have a product, you can sell that product. If it's a good product, people will buy it because they want the use of that product. If you don't have it, then you gotta come up with these kind of BS schemes to make money, and then get all mad that people bring up the questions, when you're making your presentations and your empty presentations that don't have any value. It's just a bunch of fluff about your personal story about whatever. I was walking 10 miles in the snow barefoot, and then all of a sudden I came up with this scheme, and I became a billionaire. And yeah, shut up. Just a bunch of BS. So, anyways, pass out this video.